Hi, this is Austin with Sprint 9. So I am on a different computer than usual, so I apologize for any mic weirdness, but it should be fine. I did a test video. Anyway, first things first, this is just one little thing from the last sprint. I said in the video that the bsphere commands were deleting themselves, but that was just, I misspoke. They are recycling themselves. And it was like that last week too. I just said the wrong thing. Now for the actual sprites. Most of this is more or less the same. Oh yes, I want to make a quick note that the way I implemented it was that rather than using derived classes of the sprite class, like with the drawables, I just have all sprites use the sprite class. So these are all public so that any regular sprite can have these functions called. So that's why they're public rather than protected. So I have a sprite attorney attached to this, all the variables, plus an extra two that I don't think were mentioned, at least not in the PowerPoint, but I see no real reason that they shouldn't be like the rest, which is the center x, it's the position x and the position y. I also store as variables. Commands and references for all the scene registration goodness. So the actual sprite code, I take in the string, use that to get the appropriate image, and load that in. So all the sets are just, they set the variables and then do the corresponding matrix. And then I have scene registration and deregistration, and I delete all that stuff when I'm done with it. So the actual attorney is just similar to the draw one, where it's split between the game loop and the registration and gives the appropriate access. And the commands are also pretty much the same as with the drawable. What is not the same is that I now am using an image manager, which is similar to the texture manager, but not quite. Because of the way that it was dictated, or that it was mentioned in the slides, I actually pass in the texture separately here and use that to get the image. So if I go into my load resources file, you'll see that my red tank here I load as a texture and then use that to load the image. And that's just the way that it seemed like it should go based on the class chart. So then the get and the delete are just the same. And then here's the actual .h file that I realized I didn't show at first. So again, not much to really say about it. It's just the map, the iterator, and then all the load stuff from any of the other resource manager classes. The drawable manager is also now updated so that it has two lists of storage and sprite to ensure that they're drawn in the right order. Storage iterator is a leftover name, but that's for all the 3D objects. Separate register and deregister for sprites, and puts them in a separate list. And also uses the fast delete here. So to explain what I was saying earlier, you can see that when I create the red tank sprite, I am just creating a sprite file, and I need to have the set position and set scale factor from here, and I also use this to actually send the scene registration, so that's why they need to be public. So this is some extra stuff that I added in the user code. It keeps track of all the active tanks, and then spawns them, despawns them when they get hit based on a callback from the tank itself, the enemy tank that is, and then it'll change scene to a scene that is specified in the base scene class. And then I also have the spawns here. So I'll go ahead and load in, show you here. So the 3 tanks up top each correspond to one of the 3 tanks. So it goes over the visualizer, but the actual sprite's fine. And if I shoot them now, they die. Nothing actually happens if I get shot still, but that's not really a huge deal in terms of effort that it would take to implement that. And so it takes me to my next scene. Floor is the same, but you can see that now I load in 5 tanks rather than 3. And I'll kill them, and that just takes me to the null scene for now. And ideally, I would just have another sprite that just looks like you win or something. As you can probably notice, I ended up kind of getting crunched on time, and I decided to yank the sprite font stuff for now. So I had started some of that, but I took it all out as of right now, and I will probably try to fix that over break because it's not a huge point deduction in the actual submission, and I want to focus more on finishing the demo, finishing documentation, and cleaning up some of the stuff from the in-class code review and various other things in my actual project. So these are all the systems as they're probably going to stand right now.